Hi everyone, so we're going to do a practice today to help cross and connect our energy from the top of our body to the bottom of our body. So we'll start as always with the wake up. So feet hip width apart. You're going to find those points, those little notches underneath your collarbone, their little hollows, and either tapping or rubbing those points, breathing in the nose, out the mouth, getting our energy flowing in the right direction, waking our energy up, and moving to the center of the chest, along that breastbone, stimulating the immune system. And coming to the side body, stimulating the spleen meridian, helping us integrate all that information, food, emotion that we bring into the body. The spleen is the mother of all meridians, helping us where we need it the most. Shaking our hands off and tapping on the cheekbones just underneath the eyes, helping ground our energy. And you can even tap all the way around the eye bone, back down to the cheekbones, and then tapping all the way down to the jawline, tapping along the jawline from the ears to the chin and back again, and shaking our hands off. Now you're just going to place the third finger just behind the earlobe where you have that little hollow, and allowing the hands to drape along the neck. Just taking a couple breaths here, helping relax that stress response, relax our nervous system, releasing stress from our body. Take one more breath here. And shaking our hands off and moving to the homolateral, tapping same hand, same knee. This is how our energy runs when we're feeling sick and tired. Shaking our hands off and moving to opposite hand to opposite knee. And we'll do this about 2 to 3 times more than the homolateral. We really want our energy crossing in the most efficient pattern from the left to the right brain, connecting the left and right brain. Getting our energy moving in those patterns that are most beneficial to us and our healing and our thinking and everything that we do. You can be as energetic as you want. If you just want to be tapping lightly because you're feeling tired, that's okay. Or you can really bring your hands up and around. And we'll move to the back body, tapping opposite foot to opposite hand. And one more time, and then shaking it off. Bringing one hand to a shoulder and giving that shoulder a little massage. And then cutting that hand across to the hip, shaking it off. Again, we're crossing our energy. Massaging the other shoulder, crossing it down to the hip, shaking it off. One more time, both sides. Shaking it off. Last time. Shaking it off. Hands just around to your lower abdomen area. You can close your eyes, set an intention for your day, positive word or a positive phrase, and ground it in gratitude. I release what's no longer serving me. Peace or joy, whatever feels right for you today. We're going to inhale that upper center line to our chin, flipping our hands, exhale, release. Inhaling up, exhale, release. Last time. And exhale, release. And then third finger to belly button and third finger to third eye center. And you're going to press in and up, 3 audible exhales. And releasing, shaking it off. Now bringing your fingers to the center of your forehead, you're just going to pull out towards your temples. And then doing that motion all the way over the crown of your head. We're doing the crown pull, helping create space in between all of those little bones that make up our skull. Again, really amazing for helping move energy in our body. If you get headaches, this is a really nice exercise to do to help relieve that tension and pressure in your head. Now just giving your shoulders a little bit of a rub. And then coming to the front body and massaging in between each of those ribs, moving all the way down, helping get that helping to get our lymph flowing so that our energy is flowing, coming down towards the bottom of the ribs, and then moving to the back side of the body. So massaging on either side of the spine. Again, noticing if you have any sore spots, maybe taking a couple extra moments in any of those areas that might be sore. Moving all the way down to the tailbone. And then just giving your glutes a little bit of a rub and shaking it off. Standing just for a moment with our eyes closed, noticing how you're feeling now. Pulling your abdomen in, tucking your chin, imagining your body growing taller, your spine growing taller with each breath. And then inhaling our hands up to the sky. Exhale, bringing them back down to heart center. Inhale, bending our knees. Inhaling, reaching in opposite directions. Exhale, release. Inhale, bending our knees, reaching in opposite directions, holding the breath. Exhale, release. One more time, both sides. Inhaling, holding the breath. Exhale, release. Last time. Connecting heaven and earth. This time that hand dives down to the floor. Releasing our head into forward fold. Making sure you have a nice bend behind the knees. And if you like, you can always use a prop in forward fold. If it doesn't feel good to reach over like that, you can always use a brick or whatever you have at home, a book maybe. Just making sure that you listen to your body and what feels right for it today. Now we're gonna roll that energy up. So almost like a washing machine or a bale of hay. Coming all the way up, reaching our hands up into that V pattern, that victorious warrior. Standing a moment in your victory. And then we're gonna weave that in. So Celtic weave that into our body. And now placing our hands on our lower back, we're just gonna circle the lower back area. We're helping stimulate the Ming point, connecting our life's energy with our life's purpose, and moving in the opposite direction now. And sweeping the hands to the front body, just over that growing area. We're gonna flip our hands back and forth. And then tracing up the outsides of the body, cupping the hands around the mouth, 3 audible exhales. Placing our hands on heart center, closing our eyes for just a moment. Releasing our hands, shaking them off. Bringing our feet just a little bit wider than hip width apart. You're gonna place your hands just above your knees, dropping one shoulder, straightening that arm, looking over the opposite shoulder, 3 audible exhales. Coming back through center, straightening the other arm, dropping the shoulder, looking over the opposite shoulder, 3 audible exhales. And coming back through center, rolling back up to standing. Placing our hands on our right hip, taking an inhale here, exhaling our hands across. Inhaling back to that hip, exhaling across, one more time. Exhale across, tracing down the outside of the leg off the pinky toe, bringing our hands to the big toe, tracing up the insides of the feet, insides of the legs, out to the hips, up past the armpits, back down to spleen point. We're going to repeat that on the opposite side, bringing our hands to the left hip, inhaling, exhale across, inhaling, exhale across, last time, exhale across, sweeping down the outside of the leg off the pinky, shaking our hands, and tracing up the insides of the legs. shaking it off. Bringing our hands out in front of us, thumbs facing down, crossing our hands over, looping them through, resting them on our chest, and just taking one foot over the other. So again, we're crossing our energy, crossing our physical body, getting that left and right brain connected, helping calm our nervous system, calming that stress response. One more breath here. Releasing our hands, crossing the opposite hand over, looping it back through, and then crossing the opposite foot over. One more breath. On the next exhale, releasing, shaking our hands off. Bringing our hands to heart center, inhaling our hands up to the sky, Celtic weave all the way down to the ground. And you can just heel toe your feet out a little bit further than hip width apart. And we're gonna drop our bum into a yogi squat. So if this doesn't feel good for you, there's a couple options. You can either put a bolster behind your knees and have a little bit of extra padding behind those joints, create a little bit of space. Or you can put the bolster underneath your heels if your heels don't touch the ground. So whatever feels good for you today, again, making sure that you pay attention to how your body's feeling and what your body needs today. So just taking a few moments here, you can either release your hands fully down to the ground, dropping your head, or you can come back to placing your third finger behind the earlobe and just resting the hands along the neck. This pose is really good for digestion, amazing for our hips, our spine alignment. Also really good as we start to age. Making sure that we can get up from the ground is really important. And while we're here, we're going to clear the gates. So you're going to massage in between each of the finger bones. If you're pregnant, you're going to avoid the area between the thumb and the index finger. But otherwise, everyone can massage in that fleshy material between the finger bones, pinching off at those gates, going in between each of the finger bones, noticing if there's any soreness, maybe taking a little bit of extra time, massaging, releasing stuck energy, releasing excess, and moving to the other side. And then when you're done massaging in between each of the fingers, you're going to sweep off, massaging down each of the finger bones, pinching off at the top, moving to the other side, and then shaking our hands off, releasing our bum back up to the sky, walking our feet back to about hip width apart, and then tracing up the center line of the legs. So placing your hands on the big toes, tracing up the insides of the legs, outsides of the hips, up past the armpits, back down to spleen point. Shaking our hands off and just moving into a standing Shavasana. So we're going to take our hands, cup them over our eyes, so the heels of our palms are on our cheekbones, and our hands, our fingers are just draped into our hairline. Just taking a couple breaths here, noticing how you're feeling right now. In this pose, you can come back to any point. This really helps calm that fight or flight response. Two more breaths. And on the next exhale, releasing our hands, shaking them off. And I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you have a great day.